I am alive and it is great to be alive. Today I'm going to be reviewing Baruuk for all of you. I don't know if Baruuk is pronounced with a rolling R, but it sure is fun that way. And please ignore the cyst on my neck. Apparently I had intimate relations with a nidus, though I do not think it was a mutual event because I have no recollection of it. So Baruuk's first ability, and probably one of his coolest and most useful actually, is called Elude. Once you cast the ability like this, you'll notice you welcomingly hold your hands out to the side and let enemies blast away. This has a really cool visual effect because you get these sort of hollow holes in you with energy popping out the other side of the enemy's projectiles, and your chest has a seizure. Oh boy, so exciting. This is really cool though. This negates all the damage you would normally take. Yes, it does drain energy per second, but it is very easy to get this to cost next to no energy, so you can be pretty much invulnerable to a wide radius of enemy projectiles. And this is based off of the direction your Warframe is facing, but as you can see here, it is almost completely covered. I can walk in a circle and I am dodging all bullets with no effort whatsoever. A bit broken, maybe, but cool, definitely. Also, using this ability reduces Baruuk's restraint, which we will get into here in a sec. That is disgusting. My dog just pooped out some larvae. Get him, boys, stick him. Baruuk's second ability is called Lull. This one is actually really nice. It's got a very cool visual effect, and the sound effects to it are kind of interesting. It transfers some of your restraint onto enemies and essentially puts them to sleep. And when they wake up, it says they will have no recollection of recent events, so they might even forget that you were in a fight with them. This obviously allows you to deal finisher damage, it allows you to get out of a tight spot, and allows you to reduce your restraint, which is super helpful, but hang on, bear with me, we'll get into that in just a moment. Baruuk's third ability is called Desolate Hands. This actually spawns some flying daggers that will then seek out enemies and do a radial explosion, and it disarms them. So you can see these guys are now having to slap me with their good old shivs, but it's not really doing a whole lot because apparently I am a ghost being even to melee attacks. What's nice is if you have Elude activated and you cast this ability, it actually causes the seeking daggers to have a much higher range. Okay, I know, finally you've been wondering what's so important about reducing your restraint. Well, the cool thing about Baruuk, and I'm actually a huge fan of this, more so than I thought it would be, his ultimate actually costs no energy whatsoever, rather it slowly fills your restraint bar. But aside from that, you shoot giant freaking melee pulse energy waves out of your hand. I was deeply afraid that this was just going to ragdoll enemies and make them annoying and more difficult to kill for your teammates because they wouldn't be able to find them as easily, but they made this a crit weapon, so it actually does great damage. You can hit enemies through some objects and from a great distance. And what's cool is you can have Elude active while you are in your ultimate so that you can continue reducing your restraint and stay in your ultimate for longer. So your restraint is kind of up to you to play around and work with when you want to use your ultimate, when you want to save, but as you can see, this ultimate is massively devastating, and if there's ledges, forget about it. The enemy's as good as toast. The other cool thing about Baruuk's restraint is that the more your restraint has worn off, the harder you are to kill, so apparently you have more damage reduction. So as you can see here, my restraint is completely gone, as indicated to the right of the screen, so if I deactivate the ability, I am a lot more damage resistant now than I would have been if I had full restraint. So it's really fun, kind of a neat Warframe. It's really up to you to decide when you want to use your ultimate, or if you want to keep your restraint down so that you can have more damage resistance, but honestly his ultimate is so cool, I don't know why you wouldn't use it. Especially when you can just have Elude activated during your ultimate so that you can keep your restraint going down and be essentially invulnerable. So all in all, I think Baruuk is a really fun Warframe actually. It's hard to say if I'm going to be using him in a whole lot of end game content. I will, however, say that he is fun. Far more fun than I thought he was going to be. I'm not a huge fan of how he looks, not just the cosmetic style and the shapes of him, but also I just don't enjoy coloring him for some reason. He's just not fun for me. But the good news is cosmetics only go so far in this game, and gameplay wise, Baruuk is actually pretty awesome. If you want to get Baruuk, unfortunately you have to do a lot of leveling for Vox Solaris and Fortuna, so good luck with that. Getting Toroids kind of sucks and is a pain for a lot of people, but the good news is Baruuk isn't going to specialize in anything that you can't do with another Warframe, so if you guys can't get him quite yet, don't bust your heads over it. You can be patient and wait for him. He's not the most amazing Warframe in the game, but he is fun to mess around with. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out, everybody.